My name is Brianna McCormick. This is my case study presentation. So my little girl her name's Jordan. She's an 11-year-old in the 5th grade. She's very quiet and she doesn't get in trouble much, so she doesn't have much behavior problems. She just struggles academically in the classroom. She didn't talk much about her family in the interview, so I didn't really have much information on that. And she is very shy. Her favorite subject is writing. She enjoys to write about interesting topics to her, but she does struggle with that. Her weakness is reading. In her IEP, her main goal is to get her reading level up. And like I said before, she doesn't have many behavior problems because she's socially isolated. She doesn't really talk to many students in the classroom or in the whole school, really. She has an IEP and she gets accommodations with all of her testing. She gets taken out of the room for certain tests like the ACT Aspire, and if she needs extra help with tests, she gets taken out for those too. She is allowed manipulatives like colored pencils or the little counting blocks for math tests. And even though she does have an IEP, she's still in the general ed classroom. She's not in a self-contained, but she does get pulled into the inclusion classroom sometimes if she needs to be. I observed her for 3 different times in the lunchroom. Since I sit by the cooperating teacher, I see her more because she sits by the teacher during lunch. She doesn't like to sit with the other students and socialize very much. She likes to bring her book to lunch and read AR, or she brings math or writing assignments if she has to make them up. She would rather work during lunch rather than socialize. And most of the time she doesn't even get a tray and eat. I don't know if that's a self-esteem issue or if she just doesn't like the food. I did observe her in a small group setting when she had to retake a test, and there wasn't many students in there, so she was more talkative, and she kind of was acting like she didn't want to do the test when most of the time she does. She always does her work when she's supposed to. And then I also observed her during a whole group setting when the teacher split them up into groups to do group work. She sat at the table back in the back by herself and didn't want to work with anybody. But I noticed that during the whole group setting when she was around more kids is when she was the most quiet, and then the less kids is when she decided to talk more. From the sociogram I observed that I did with her, she chose the cool kids that she wanted to be best friends with, and from what I observed one time, the students were kind of like, I guess, mean to her, and when she would try to talk to them, they were mean, but yet she still picked them on as who she wanted to be her best friends with. And then the people that she picked for her best friends were the ones who are really friends with everyone, and they talk to really everybody. But she doesn't talk to many people at all anyways because she is very shy. Jordan's trouble with writing is when I gave them an assignment to think of their own ideas and write it down and reasons why they wanted to pick this certain place that they wanted to go. And I told them they could use the tablet for the information if they needed it. Well, she used the tablet and wrote all of her information directly from the website, and that's obviously not what I wanted. I wanted them to use their own ideas, just the tablet for help. So when it was called to my attention that she was copying down the exact words, I redirected her and told her that I wanted them to use their own thoughts and ideas. And she was upset at first and she got very emotional, but I calmed her down and she understood what I needed to do, so what I wanted her to do. So I decided that next time when I give her like the classroom directions, that she needs more detailed instruction rather than for me to just tell the whole class. So I just redirected her whenever she was doing it wrong. That did work whenever I went over and redirected her. I have examples from her rough draft where she copied it, and then her final copy when she understood the directions more clear, and she wrote her thoughts rather than what she just found on the internet. And the special intervention I used was positive behavior support, because when she was aggravated or upset whenever I told her that, she wasn't doing it correctly and I explained how to do it the correct way, I gave her a positive redirection, and that made her feel better, and that's when she started to show that she understood it, and she calmed down and quit crying and getting upset. And the most important thing I learned about Jordan is she is very kind and she's very sensitive. She loves school and she loves doing her work, but she does struggle sometimes. But all in all, she's a good kid and she doesn't have any behavior problems, and she enjoys being at school and learning. That's all.